Coming in as a true freshman, Tebow was the backup behind redshirt sophomore Anthony Richardson, and going into week number 1 against the Utah Utes, they were ranked number 7, so Tebow had no expectation of getting any playing time, and he thought he was just going to sit on the sideline watching Anthony Richardson rock the offense. But in the fourth quarter, we were down 21, so coach put Tebow in, and he made the most out of the opportunity, delivering a dot on the very first play to the left side, and then on the second play, delivered just a little beam to the right on a wide receiver screen. Although to be able to get any kind of points, we needed more yardage, and he delivered a seaming demon ball right up that right seam in between the cover 3. On 1st and 10 from about the 30, he launched it to the left side, which probably should have got picked off. He got a little ahead of himself right there, but he was able to work himself down to the 1-yard line, and with no time left, he came up just a little bit short of the end zone. He wasn't able to score on his first drive ever, but against Kentucky in week 5, he was used as part of a goal line package and scored his first ever collegiate rushing touchdown, and this helped the Gators get their first SEC W of the season. But even with Tebow's great play, Anthony Richardson was the clear-cut QB1 still. Against our rival FSU, we actually had the opportunity to throw our first ever passing touchdown, but it got dropped. We still won the game against our rivals, and we made the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in our freshman year, where Anthony Richardson, midway through the game, strained his back, and Tebow had to step up and lead the team. He was already up 7 on the first play. Coach called a quarterback draw on a 3rd down, and Tebow was able to pick up the first. And then again, Tebow decided to keep it on this option and threw multiple defenders off of him, fighting for another first down before kicking out on the swing screen for his first ever collegiate passing touchdown, and this was a big deal. He was still in the game in the second quarter, and on 1st and 10, he ripped off a huge read option touchdown to be able to give us a 21-point lead and help lead the W over the Terps. Anthony Richardson came in the 3rd, and he actually didn't really play that well, which made Tebow's play earlier in the game look even better, and Anthony Richardson even threw an interception while we were up 24 points. Thankfully, though, it really didn't matter, and we became bowl champions. Tebow's huge touchdown run was shown on ESPN for the entire week, and Tebow even got player of the game in the final game of his freshman year, which is a huge deal leading to the sophomore year. Tebow was QB1 in year number 2, and we kicked off against Florida Atlantic, where we had the ball, and Tebow wanted to make a statement early. We were the number 17th ranked team, and Tebow wanted to make sure that we got to keep that and even get more as he delivered that dot across his body. On the next play, though, he tried getting a little bit ahead of himself as he launched it deep downfield, but the jitters got the best of him. He put a little bit too much mustard on that one. He hit a nice curl route, though, on the break coming right out of that, and then delivered the first passing touchdown of the season over the middle of the field. On the goal line in the 3rd, it was time to put the dagger in, and Tebow did just that with that little dump off to the flat. Tebow had 300 yards passing and 100 rushing yards in his first ever start. This feeling of domination continued as week 2 we played Eastern Michigan, and it was pretty much just a laser show, dot after dot. Tebow was willing to do and able to do whatever he wanted against a way worse team, and he finished that game with 5 total touchdowns. Although we opened up SEC play against Ole Miss, and this was going to be Tebow's first real test. He took a read option to the left side on the very first play, ran through 2 different defenders, and was off to the races. Although he's never been the fastest player ever, so he was caught from behind, unfortunately. He was able to make up for that, though, with a passing touchdown over the middle. With the ball up 7-0 in the first quarter, another read option they've been on, so Tebow's off to the races. He juked out the safety. It was off. He just needed to make one more person miss, but got ankle tackled because he's so slow. It was okay, though, as the quarterback power right up the middle was able to score that touchdown. And with the dagger right here, he was able to take a 3-possession lead. We were really just running it up on them right now, and he ran through one person, then ran through another person, and was up the left sideline with nobody there to get him, and he finally got an 80-yard touchdown run. 28-7, he showed off his arm with another passing touchdown and finished the game with almost 500 total yards and 7 touchdowns, putting him in first place in the Heisman watch. We had worked our way to a top 4 ranking and had to play the number 3 ranked Bulldogs. In practice, he took a read option, one-on-one with the safety, tried hurdling him, but landed awkwardly on his ankle, and this put him in a high ankle sprain, and he was out for 3 weeks. Jack Miller was the new starter, and actually he did a good job, as when Tebow came back against FSU, we were the number 2 ranked and still undefeated, although we had fallen out of the Heisman watch, and it was really the only chance here for Tebow to have a successful season was to fight for the college football playoffs. Against FSU, it was a real rainy day, and that was apparent very quickly as wide receivers were dropping passes, and there was a ton of miscommunication in the pass game in general. Tebow eventually just started running the ball, and he was doing a good job fighting, but the ground was slippery, so it was hard to get a ton of extra yardage, and he was getting popped in the run game a little bit too. He was throwing defenders off him still, and was afraid to do anything besides just keep the ball himself, as he didn't want to risk risk fumbling. He kept on slipping and falling. And right here, though, up 6-0, he delivered a laser to Henderson, and Henderson was able to run all the way down to about the 15-yard line. This put the Gators in a chance to be able to take a 2-possession lead, and Tebow wasn't going to squander that, throwing 2 defenders off him, and another one tried to get him from behind. He worked all the way down to the 1-yard line, and scrambling up the middle again, he bulldozed through a defender before getting in. Unfortunately, the defense kind of let us down here, where we had a 13-0 lead, and this touchdown right here actually gave Florida State a 1-point lead in the fourth quarter. So Tebow had a money drive with 50 seconds left. He found a C route to the left side right there, and then looking to the left again, he's able to roll out, gain of about 8. Our kicker was 2 for 4, and that was because of how bad the weather was. So a field goal really wasn't an option here for Tebow. He found another dot, working that left side again, all the way down to about the 29, and looking over the middle of the field, he threw a defender off him trying to get a sack. He rolled to the right side, and across his body, he was able to deliver a beam ski for a touchdown, but on that throw, he got hit hard and was on the ground in pain for a while. The defense just needed to stop one Hail Mary, and they did a good job. Even though they got a ball sack put in their face, they didn't let them score, and we had just beaten FSU, but right after the game, x-rays came back, and Tebow had been diagnosed with a broken tailbone, effectively ending his sophomore season. We made it to the conference championship game, and Jack Miller balled out again, scoring the game-winning touchdown against Bama, leading us to a SEC championship, and we made it to the national championship against Ohio State as well, where unfortunately we ended up falling, and a Buckeye kneel ended Tebow's sophomore year as he watched from the sidelines. That offseason, Jack Miller declared for the draft, so Tebow was again the number 1 QB on the roster, undoubtedly, and opening up the year against Texas State, the defense got a stop. 3rd and 8, Tebow threw multiple defenders off of him and was off to the races, and for one of the first times, he actually didn't even get close to getting caught as he scored a huge touchdown. The defense wasn't doing a great job against a pretty bad Texas State team, but we kept on piling on the points over and over again, and Tebow was running hard in his junior year, looking to make a big statement, not just as a Florida Gator, but looking forward towards the future to join the NFL and to qualify for the NFL draft possibly after this year. Week 2 was a national championship rematch against the Buckeyes as we traveled to Columbus, and Tebow had a chance up 7 in the fourth quarter to put the game away and to make up for last year of him getting hurt and not being able to help out. Although, for one of the first times in his collegiate career, Tebow made a huge mistake, throwing an interception directly to a Buckeye safety, and the defense ended up letting them score, but that was only to tie the game, which meant that Tebow was going to have an opportunity right here to go on a money drive to get us at least into field goal range. He went to the left side and got tackled short of the marker, and then a wide receiver screen got blown up short, so they had to punt. We thought it was going to go into overtime, but as time expired, Ohio State scored, giving the Buckeyes a W and us our second L to Ohio State in the past 12 months. Playing Mizzou in week 3, some people were questioning whether or not Tebow was a national championship caliber quarterback after that L to the Buckeyes, but in overtime, he delivered a strike to the left seam, and we won the game against Missouri. Even though they were 0-2, this was a huge deal as Tebow had 4 total touchdowns, and against LSU, we kept it on as we threw ourselves through a defender for another touchdown, and we were going crazy, and this was the start of something special for us. The following week, we played the Georgia Bulldogs, who were number 3 in the nation, and Tebow was ready to prove everybody who wanted to say anything against him wrong. He ran through a grown man and then purposely went through another one for a touchdown. 14-14, he delivered a nice little ball over the middle for a touchdown, and with a chance to secure the W, he looked to the left sideline, saw his streaking receiver wide open, and hit him in stride for an easy W. He had one more score in him as he teabagged a Bulldog defender for a touchdown, and the Gators just knocked off number 3 Georgia. The frat bros were going crazy. Yeah, let's get effed up. And Tebow was a front runner now for the Heisman Trophy. Going to play the Seminoles, we were the number 5 ranked team in the nation, which meant if we were able to win this game against the number 9 ranked Florida State, we would be locked for the college football playoffs. Tebow piled the game on, and we won this game pretty easily as we were so excited, beating our rivals, but also Tebow had 400 total yards, meaning that he secured the Heisman Trophy right here, and we were locked as the number 2 seed heading into the college football playoffs. The number 1 seed was Ohio State, actually, but first, we had to knock off the Oklahoma Boomer Sooners. This was not an easy game, and we were down 5 with 1:40 left, needing a stop against the Sooner offense. Thankfully, they ran the ball, and we were able to blow it up in the backfield, meaning that Tebow would have one last try. He kicked it out on a swing route over to the left side, and Johnson was able to make a defender miss up the left sideline. He was going, but he wasn't able to make enough people miss, as Tebow still had to take the ball in his hands. He ran it up the middle, ran through defender, got into the end zone, and coach was so happy. He gave him a little slap ass, because that touchdown secured our spot spot in the national championship. The rematch against the Buckeyes was on, and Tebow was looking for vengeance and immediately found a corner out to the right side for the opening touchdown. But the Buckeye offense was good, so Tebow had to keep on answering. He broke this run, cut it to the outside, was trying to outrun the entire defense. But again, he's never been the fastest guy ever. It's okay, though. He looked to the right side, was able to throw a route to the halfback, and he got in for the touchdown. But with a minute 7 left, Tebow and the Gators were down 4 with the national championship on the line. Tebow dropped back, found a route over the middle of the field to the tight end. The tight end ran through a defender right here. The tight end's up the left sideline now, all the way down to about the 23-yard line. That was a 51-yard pass. Tebow yelled, "Get to the line!" 57 seconds left. Tebow ran a read option. They bit. He was able to keep it. Looking up the middle, had to make one person miss, but he got hit too hard and fell short of the line. First and goal, he comes up short. Second and goal, trying to get in. The clock is ticking down up the middle. He tries to bounce to the outside, comes up short. Third and goal, 3 seconds left as the final play of the game. Tebow up the left side, bang! Touchdown. The Gators are national champions. Tebow is a national champion, and he declares for the NFL draft, where he gets drafted by the Buccaneers to be mentored by Tom Brady. If you enjoyed that video, check out this one right here, where I recreated Michael Vick's career, and it was insane.